I'm Sylvia, and today I would like to invite you to talk about sugar. Why? Because sugar is literally in everything. It's in everything. Once I started to become interested in health and wellness and the nutrition, I started to be more curious about the labels of the simple grocery items that are in my basket every week. And I was absolutely shocked that sugar is often number 2, 3 ingredient of items that would look totally innocent. Like, for example, a pasta sauce, a tomato pasta sauce, number 2 ingredient can actually be sugar. So ask yourself a question, if you're going to cook tomato sauce for your pasta from scratch, would you add 2 tablespoons of sugar to it? You take some tomatoes out of the can, a bit of salt, pepper, garlic, onion, a bit of olive oil, some basil, oregano, and then chuck 2 tablespoons of sugar to it? No, you wouldn't do that. That sounds actually quite gross. So why do the food manufacturers do that? If you buy an organic tomato sauce, even organic tomato sauce in a jar, why can sugar be a number 2 ingredient in that? Did you ever ask yourself a question? Why do the food manufacturers do that? And the answer is because sugar has 2 important roles in our body. First of all, sugar triggers hunger and increase our cravings. So that's why food manufacturers put that literally into everything, so we buy more of their products, and obviously so they are much more profitable. There is literally a research that out of the 60,000 packaged food in our shopping system, 74% of them contain some sort of added sugar in it. If it's not just the white sugar, then it's, it might come under the name of the corn syrup or, or some other refined sweeteners. And that's how we are literally getting addicted. We are getting addicted to the sugar. Plus, the food manufacturers are coming with more and more cunning marketing strategies to get us hooked to it. Like, for example, I found out that they pay cereal manufacturers, those especially the ones loaded with sugar, they actually pay grocery stores to keep their items at the kids' eye level. So, so that's there when you go shopping with your kid, the kids ask for it. So, all these frosted Kellogg's or the chocolate Krispies, things like that, you won't find it at the top shelves. You'll find it somewhere on the lower shelves. So if you're gonna go with your son or your daughter shopping, they will pester you to buy it. And that's what is called a pestering technique, because they know the parent will pay any price to stop the child nagging. So look at the cunning techniques they come up with to actually get us addicted to sugar from the literally very, very young age. So today, in the late, I think it was 1970s, when there was studies started to come out that the sugar actually might be the culprit of, and the reason of the increasing heart disease and the diabetes. What did the sugar manufacturers did? They paid the lobbyists to go to the Harvard University, and they paid 2 researchers what would be in today's money £50,000 to come up with the research that links fat, not sugar, to the increased heart diseases, increased rate of the heart diseases. And that's how sugar suddenly wasn't the bad thing, it was the fat. It was the fat that we were supposed to avoid. And obviously now we know this is just so not true. So the sugar role in our body is to, first of all, get us addicted. And secondly, sugar stimulates our body to store fat. So the more you eat it, the more it encourages your body to store more and more fat. If you ever decided to go off sugar, I know how incredibly hard it is, because, I've done it myself. Like, I've been addicted to sugar for most of my life, really. Most of my life. Couldn't even say years, most of my life. And I know how hard it is to give it up. Because literally, if you think about it, consuming sugar has been conditioned into us culturally. You have to have a candy at Halloween. You have to have a candy cane at Christmas, chocolate egg at Easter. Every occasion, every gathering, social gathering, there is something sweet connected with it. So that's why we just always can find a reason to consume it. But ask yourself, do you really have to have that sugar? Because if you really, really do, soon, if we are gonna go at this rate, consuming so much, and again, I'm gonna cite another study here that shows that average American apparently consumes 154 pounds, which is about 70 kilograms of sugar per year. That's a whole person. This is literally more than I weigh and more than so many people weigh. And yet this is the amount of sugar that the average American, and I'm sure it's probably the same, story in UK and in lots of other countries. We just don't have the statistics from other countries, but I'm sure the trend is normally the same. It's absolutely terrifying as to how much sugar we are currently consuming. So that's why I would like to invite you to take this mini challenge, 7-day challenge with me of having no sugar, of giving up sugar. Just take a 7-day sugar holiday with me. So during these 7 days, what you will gain more awareness, consciousness, and mindfulness about your sugar consumption. You will learn how to read the labels and the ingredients on the items you are buying during your grocery shopping. And you'll become more conscious to actually check the ingredient labels. So are you up for it? I hope you are, and I hope you're going to join me on the 7-day mini challenge of giving up sugar. And who knows, after the 7 days, you might make a conscious decision that now and again you still would like to have an occasional something sweet, or you might decide, that's it, I'm not having it ever again anymore. So it will be very interesting which way you're gonna go. So for the time being, stay tuned in. I will be publishing more videos, and hopefully you are as excited as I am to go on a 7-day sugar-free holiday.